throughout the year.
It is senior day for NC State as SMU begins with service. And they go to the outside and get the point. Kennedy Rogers, fresh off of returning to the lineup, some success. She's close to 100% after an ankle injury. And this is an SMU team, Paul, that is nearing 100% health-wise at the most crucial part of the season.
Well, you always want to peak at the final few games of the season going into NCAA play. Well, of course, I think Coach Erger and squad are most certainly doing that. They also get Jaden Livings back and available today. So, of course, that's not a good thing if you're NC State. One more massive threat for SMU at your face. But, of course, again, if you're Coach Erger, getting everybody back at the right time for her Mustang squad.
So a shaky start, couple of errant services. And now Jordan Schilling aces it for the Mustangs.
And she gets that success off of Clara Vondran. Vondran getting the start in the backcourt. But of course, a great serve from Schilling, the libero transfer from High Point University.
Then an all Big South performer. She's transitioned seamlessly into the ACC, and NC State points it.
Samaya Dorsey hit it off the head of the block for SMU and that of Kennedy Rogers. Well, Rogers handles that one okay, but that's an easy point for NC State.
Now Lily Cropper on service. Avery Carlson, the star setter for SMU, with a second chance. Out for Rogers, and the Mustangs get it, going up by 2.
Excellent decoy in the middle from Anyanwu that holds the block of Franco, and that means wide open spaces for Kennedy Rogers and the easy swing.
The second most assists per set in the country. Avery Carlson, just over 11 per set. Big swing from Courtney Bryant. And the Wolfpack answering every bell early in this first set.
And this is what NC State wants. They want short rallies here, going on the outlet ball, perfectly located by Maciejewicz to give the ball to Bryant for the line swing.
Serve just over top. Carlson to Rogers, and SMU formulaic in their attack.
And this is where you see Avery Carlson shine. That perfect tempo ball out to Rogers for the swing. Carlson leads their team to a sub 300 team attack percentage. That's good for third in the country, or fifth, pardon me.
Another ace for SMU. So as Rogers rotates off the floor, Paul, 3 swings, 3 kills.
Well, not looking like she's feeling any of the effects of that ankle injury from her Stanford match just a few weeks ago.
Krista Wilburn on the serve. NC State finds some space in the middle of everybody. That was a nifty move.
Great choice from Bryant here. She ripped line a moment ago, so now the defense, you could see them step back in that perimeter. What does Bryant do? Go with the crafty tip in the middle of the court.
Carlson. Up, has it ricochet right back at her after the stuff at the net, and the Wolfpack again with the point.
Here's another freshman on the NC State squad. It's Talia Frankham. Frankham drops those hands down into the swinging lane for the stop.
Massive swing. There's Jaden Livings with her first kill.
And Livings with the shoot set again. Really has a hard time, does NC State, getting the block over on time. And of course, Livings makes no mistake bouncing the ball to 12 feet.
One of a couple USC transfers on this SMU team, along with Favor Onyanwu. Livings for Carlson on the set, and that is over and pointed. Another SMU score. Malaya Jones that time on the swing.
Jones in the backcourt on the D-ball. This is another place where she is so lethal there. She takes it with some good tempo. Now that ball clipped the tape. It's probably not a ball that Jones likes, but she'll take the score.
Out of bounds, SMU's point. So the Mustangs riding a lot of momentum headed into this match, Paul. Some players coming off of being drafted for Sam Erger's bunch. They're playing really well. And Sam told us they had one of their best practices in a long time yesterday. Just that he really liked where the intensity was as Livings clears it and gets another for the Mustangs.
Yeah, and sometimes a good practice will kind of refresh your squad. She said that there were some incentives on the line, and the players really kind of got behind that. And to hear that one of your best practices is in late November is another great sign for this SMU squad.
Mia Silva ekes it over the net for the ace. And NC State calls a timeout. SMU up
at Georgia Tech. That's a 1 o'clock first serve, just as this NC State SMU one was.
Still Mustangs on the service. Krista Wilburn up for Carlson. Livings hammers it, and it's deflected out of bounds, so the point goes to the Mustangs.
This time the block was in position, but Livings recognizes that and takes a big swing against Villar. Villar standing at only 5'8". That's going to be a difficult matchup throughout the day for Villar to put the block on both fantastic outsides for SMU.
Too strong on the serve for Mia Silva, ending the 6-point run for SMU, creating some separation. Up until then, Paul, first handful of points for both teams exchanged in sequence.
Very well played first set so far for both squads, but SMU with the upper hand so far.
Zuzwa Maciejewicz, the serve for NC State. Clean look, and it's just out for Jaden Livings.
So Living went up and over the block of Villar. So now the question and the challenge will be whether or not there was a touch on the block of Villar. The challenge, this is the first one from Coach Erger and SMU.
So we'll get another look at it as the ruling is that it was out. And again, Paul, as you said, we're looking for a touch here by NC State at the block.
Yep, and they can also challenge whether or not the ball was in or out because it is related to the play. And it looks to me as though no touch on the block, but is there conclusive evidence to overrule whether or not that ball got the line or not?
That's a good point. So a couple of different things to look at.
Of course, they're getting a glance at both. And the question is not whether or not the players believe or whatever. At this point, it's conclusive evidence with a view that could overturn the call.
So this bouncing back and forth between angles, you're seeing exactly what the officials are looking at as they
point to SMU.
Now Avery Carlson serving. Daniels first to touch. Villar sets it up. Good defense by SMU. Gets a look for Malaya Jones, and the Mustangs extend their lead.
Good swing by Malaya Jones. The block was in position, so she went hard off the hands and glances that one off of the hands of Rebecca Ring.
Tough serve receive. Villar gets it up, and it is struck well long.
I was just wondering when that graphic was going to pop up. It was close early, 8-5 just moments ago, but a big burst of SMU offense here.
And an ace for Carlson. She's really keying on Daniels on the back line, and it's served her well so far in this run. Her 24th service ace of the year. Villar sets it back in a big clean swing for Lily Cropper. Gets it back for NC State.
It's the second slide we've seen from NC State today. They're certainly trying to spread the block of SMU. Here they do so to successfully create a one-on-one for Cropper.
Villar serves into the net, and it's another one and done for NC State.
Momentum clearly on the side of SMU. They were beginning to gain that momentum, but when they got that overturn on the challenge to flip that score to 13-6, since then, kind of the wind has been taken out of the sails of NC State.
Wolfpack have to get it over, and they do. Wow, Rebecca Ring made something out of nothing there with that awkward first touch.
Oh, she really did so there, and she had to transition and just be available. Good things happen when you get in position to take a swing. Excellent work by the freshman Ring.
It's the fourth assist for Eliza Villar. Carlson kept it nearby and gets Maggie Croft in on the action.
Good quick attack from Croft. We haven't seen the middle quick run very often by SMU, but if anybody can run that from 10 feet, it's Avery Carlson. Perfectly delivered to Croft for the swing.
Another serve receive issue for NC State, and another point for the Mustangs, who now lead it by 11 here in the first set.
Unfortunately for NC State, things are looking a lot like that result against Miami. Miami really outplayed NC State prior to Thanksgiving. That was a very tough matchup, that Miami match. Of course, we talk a lot about Flo Marie Heredia Colon, easily one of the best attackers in the NCAA, let alone the ACC. It was a tough matchup for NC State. It was NC State's service reception that really was the downfall of their game against Miami.
Teams again swap service errors. And now SMU closing in on first set victory. Stuffed at the net, but a deflection right back to you.
How about that? For a heady kill, literally. So Franco takes the swing. That ball goes off of her noggin down to the middle of the floor. Don't see that kill many times. Certainly didn't write that one up, did Coach Megan Wargo-Kenny.
Favor on Yanwu did her job, but incidentally did a favor for the Wolfpack. And then SMU gets it back.
Oh, SMU teed off on that one, but can't say enough about the Frankham ball a moment ago. But there's the tempo from SMU again causing problems. Frankham, not enough time to get the closed block. The result, an easy swing on the outside.
And you saw there, Paul, again, Kennedy Rogers rotates off after that fourth swing, fourth kill.
11 kills hitting at a 769 clip is SMU. You couldn't ask for much better efficiency.
And a service ace. The service line, a huge factor so far in this first set.
Targeting Jaden Livings. Livings had to reach back to take that pass. Good serve by Bryant.
And then another error. That's the fourth for NC State, matching SMU's 4. Back to Mia Silva. She was at the service line for SMU's longest run so far in this first set. It was a 6-0 run that gave them the separation. Livings all the way to the back, unable to be saved. Nice effort by Maciejewicz.
I like this choice by Livings. Livings takes a little bit off of it to get the reach, to get the ball located exactly where she wants it. A very smart play by Livings.
A perfect 5 for 5 swings and kills for Jaden Livings. Silva the dig, Carlson. Not where she wanted that pass to ideally go, but Livings gets it over, and it is in for the point.
Silva pulled up her hands in defeat after that one. She was very frustrated that she didn't put a play on it. Good ball out of the combination, out of the middle for the point.
Courtney Bryant with the kill, her third. And there's another ace, the second for the Wolfpack. 6 combined service aces in this first set between these two teams.
This is what's so important late in the set. Can NC State pick up a little momentum back after that big SMU run and carry it over to a potential better start to set 2?
Maciejewicz again. Tough reception. Schilling up for Livings, and she tucks it in on the back row.
Livings continues to sizzle. 6 kills for her. Only 1 ball was foiled, but no errors. So 6 out of 7 swings for kills. Boy, those are good numbers.
SMU hitting 750 so far in this frame. Over to the outside. Quick hands. Gets it over for SMU. A nice effort on the block. Ring gets it over for the Wolfpack. Carlson, clean set for Livings. Sent right back. They'll try it again, and she sends it to the back corner. Set 2 will begin with NC State service. Eliza Villar gets an overpass on the first touch. SMU gets it over. And then Villar a set. Nice little tap over. Wolfpack's got to get it over. Maciejewicz does. Maciejewicz saves it. This is a wild rally so far. Malaya Jones kept it in and finally secures it for SMU.
And the complaint much earlier in the rally is going to be whether or not there was an illegal back row attack. Illegal contact would be the call against SMU, which is what they are going to change.
The safest thing to do is let it be what it was.
Yeah, chaos is the right word. Sometimes that gets overused, but that first point of set number 2, absolutely all over the place. And if you're the coaching staff and all the fans of NC State, then you say you subscribe to the rule that the ball never lies. So NC State feels as though they were wronged. Well, volleyball gods have served with an outserve against SMU.
Carlson to the outside, and SMU gets it back swiftly.
Just been so impressed with the tempo of Avery Carlson connecting to Rogers. That time a push not out to the antenna, but instead splitting the middle and right side blockers of NC State.
Rogers now 5 kills on 6 attacks. Villar to the outside. Dorsey's effort collected by SMU. Now back to the Wolfpack. Mustangs get a system look, and it gets over the net and in between the block.
We haven't seen the back row attack too often from SMU today, but there it's the proper location set out in front of the 10-foot line. Livings takes a big swing, catches the block off guard.
Villar back set. Carlson out for Rogers, who tried to tap it over. The block was successful for the Wolfpack, but the Mustangs get it over. Tipped up on the block. Carlson up on Yanwu, straight away. And reflexes by Jones on the backside for SMU. Rogers, a joust, and wins it for the Mustangs.
Things were going NC State's way, particularly on the block. They were getting some good block touches from Lily Cropper throughout, but that joust from Samaya Dorsey, just not enough oomph to get it on the other side.
A couple of very competitive points, as that one quickly an ace for the Mustangs. That's their 5th service ace to match their number of errors. And Malaya Jones just hits it too far.
That ball was starting to drop off of the table. The NC State bench taking a deep breath when that ball sailed just fractionally long.
She almost got consecutive aces out of it. Not bad for somebody who's only notched. That last one was her 9th of the season. A hammer. And it quickly goes back the way of the Mustangs. So Malaya Jones doing what she's best at there.
So explosive. Here is Malaya Jones, and of course that slide gets the attention of Courtney Bryant and creates a little bit of hesitation, but Malaya Jones so fast to the ball.
Crystal Wilburn serves it into the net. This is about the point at which in set number 1, NC State kind of lost it, and SMU really took hold. Maciejewicz out for Bryant. Carlson. Schilling ahead. Carlson out. Livings. Too hot to handle as the deflection goes all the way out of bounds on the other side.
Well, good positioning on the defensive side of the ball, but just too much power from Livings overpowering Vondran. Her ball goes all the way wide of the other side of the court.
Casey Batenhorst now on service for the Mustangs. Daniels the first pass. Bryant taps it over. And the Mustangs get it over. Bryant tries it again. Livings laid all the way out on the other side of the floor, out of position. She recovers. And SMU can't get it up and over the net. What a point for NC State.
I love the battle from NC State. Livings with a couple of amazing pickups that you had pointed out, and then the big swing from Bryant. Bryant continues to have to take these out-of-system swings, and she is fearless. 4 kills for her on the day.
Carlson back set. Jones quick to point it. Man, Paul, it just seems when in doubt after a scramble that for SMU, maybe you got the point, maybe you didn't. It's always safe to just get in system, go back to number one.
It's great when you've got to go to when in doubt, when in system, when out of system. Malaya Jones is that girl for SMU.
Livings tried another swing. From the back row, Rebecca Ring finds the floor.
Yep, Ring was pulled all the way back to about 15 feet. So she goes ahead and puts a play on it and smartly puts a little pressure on. Instead of giving up the easy ball, she puts pressure on, splits the back row defenders.
All the way to the outside, and Livings spikes it cleanly.
Well, we're not even halfway through set number 2, and Jaden Livings with 10 kills. Still error-free is Livings. Livings having a fantastic outing.
You see there now, over 500 kills for her career. Ring, well struck, just across the face of the defense, and gets it for the Wolfpack, who's hanging in there in this second set.
Talked in the open about how dynamic Ring has become. There she drops the thumb, opens up to go around the block of Croft, down on the hard cut.
Livings can't control it. A service ace for the Wolfpack, and they're within 2.
And we talked about an equalizer earlier on. NC State early in set 1, quick side outs, first ball contact kills. Here in set number 2, putting the service pressure on.
Rogers gets it back for SMU. Kennedy Rogers with her 7th kill on 11 swings there.
And Villar got the serve that she wanted, putting pressure on. But the passer in Schilling aligned the ball right at Carlson, who was able to deliver.
Villar keeps it on NC State's side. Good save for the Mustangs. Now Villar, another chance, back set to the outside. Wow! Rogers keeps it alive for SMU. Wolfpack with another chance, and Rebecca Ring hammers it down.
Fantastic save on the SMU side just to keep it alive. I think everybody thought that one was going down. Ring stuck on the right side in the service reception pattern, opens up the shoulder, rips it down the line. Such a difficult play for Rebecca Ring. She was actually inside, so she had to go what coaching staffs will say inside out. Well, to do that on the right side and still stripe the line, exceptionally difficult play for Ring. She still gets it to go.
It's a couple of really tight windows that she's gotten those attacks in. Error on the service for the Wolfpack, so back to SMU.
I still like this pressure from NC State. This looks a lot better than what they looked like midway through set number 1. Youth of NC State, all smiles there for the Cam. They're loving it.
Feeling good about competing with the number 8 team in the country here in this second set. Again to the outside, it's Kennedy Rogers.
Samaya Dorsey having a hard time with the tempo, so she charged out to the antenna, but she went too far out. That means wide open spaces on the angle.
Malaya Jones puts it into the net. Another service error for her. Quick update from Atlanta. Pitt gets first set over Georgia Tech narrowly, though, 25-23. We talked about the implications for an ACC championship. Rogers another save. Jones to Carlson. Rogers tried to tap over. Schilling there to scoop it up. Rogers another try. And NC State can't corral it.
A little bit more on that update. If you're SMU, you are really pulling for Georgia Tech. That is a key cog to the puzzle of SMU being a co-champion along with trying to defeat NC State. Of course, they need some help from Louisville tonight to take out Stanford as another piece of that puzzle for an SMU share of the ACC title.
Error for Krista Wilburn, who's kind of feast or famine throughout this season. She leads the team in both service aces and service errors. They want her to take those risks, but so far in this one, it's not paid off for them. Livings got a touch, so the point goes to SMU. Or at least that's the ruling.
And Talia Frank, I'm looking around saying, who touched it? I didn't touch it. The touch is off the shoulder of Courtney Bryant, just off the edge of her. Had that ball not touched her, it would have been down for a point anyway.
Service skips over the tape. Bryant out of system. Back to the Wolfpack. Knocked back on the effort by Bryant, but Frankham taps it over.
And we'll talk a little bit more about Wilburn being one of the top freshmen in the country, but also Frankham amongst the best blockers in the country. There, that lengthy 6'4" frame getting up and putting the stop on.
Carlson up, Livings down. Another quick point for the Mustangs as we take a timeout on the floor. 15-11, a narrower advantage for the number 8 team in the country in set number 2.
Those teams certainly the cream of the crop in the ACC, and I expect all 4 of those squads to wreak havoc on the NCAA tournament. All have not only the NCAA resume to get good seeds, but by my eye, all very quality volleyball teams that have a shot at finishing off the second weekend of the tournament, possibly making it to the Final Four.
Rebecca Ring with her team-high 5th kill there for NC State, wreaking some havoc on the Mustangs as that one blasted by Malaya Jones gets it back for the Mustangs. So you mentioned those top 4 in the ACC, accompanied by Miami, Georgia Tech, and North Carolina in the RPI top 50.
Where I think some of that RPI talk comes into so much importance for SMU. If SMU gets an 8, that means in the regional final, they would match up against the buzzsaw of Nebraska. Nobody wants to see undefeated Nebraska. 29-0 with only one more game to play this year. I think Texas A&M are both gettable if they get the 2 spot. Kentucky, a pretty nasty 2 seed, but I still think you'd rather face Kentucky versus Nebraska if you were to make it to that 4th game.
Ring goes off speed for NC State. Livings hits it long, out of bounds, point Wolfpack. Oh no, the call has been corrected as there was a touch by NC State, so SMU gets it.
Yep, Rebecca Ring looked over and said, Coach, I touched it, so let's play on. Back row attack has really become a bigger part of SMU's play late in set 1, and now they're starting to incorporate that in set number 2. Great swing by Livings there.
Timeout on the floor. Who transferred back again home per se after playing at USC. It's an interesting construction of this roster as we talked to Sam Erger during their warm-up. Look, this is, I mean, it's basically a new team compared to what was last year. And a heady point for NC State. to try to stay close in the second set.
That's right, and it starts with the pass of Courtney Bryant. Perfectly played ball, but you talked about the construction of the squad, the production lost. All those numbers speak for themselves. Why did things work this year? I think it's Avery Carlson. Fantastic setter. Spent time at Baylor and then, of course, at Texas. And Avery Carlson was a recruit of Sam Erger when Coach Erger was the assistant at Baylor. So there is certainly familiarity. Well, it's no surprise Avery Carlson comes to SMU to wrap up her career here.
A wildly successful season for the Mustangs collectively. Avery Carlson as well. Villar back for ring, rejected at the net, but a touch.
Kennedy Rogers just fractionally in the net. This set a lot different from the first. First set, SMU really ran away with things. 19-9 was a big stretch there. Well, NC State answering back with some quality offense here in set number 2.
Oh, a missed touch on the first for Livings, so the point goes to NC State.
Good serve by Vondren. Vondren bringing the ball down and at number 42, Livings. Livings has been the target of most serves of NC State today.
To Livings again. This time she gets it off the floor, and they get a look for Jones.
Darren, you talked about the stopgap when things were going bad, when things are going good. Well, we had a missed pass 1 point ago. Well, this one, the pass was errant. Well, what do? Go back to the super efficient Malaya Jones. She puts it away.
Jones 7 kills on the afternoon now as NC State tries to get it back, and they do with a Villar to Bryant set.
NC State answering with some tempo of their own. There the shoot to Bryant. Bryant goes high off the fingertips of Carlson for the point.
Lily Cropper's serve. Again, targeting Livings. Ahead Carlson. And Rogers can't get it over. Second touch. That's illegal, of course, as the fourth total.
No challenge on the SMU side, so when they saw no touch, they're going to try to persevere here. Again, trying to challenge the serve of Lily Cropper.
This time Rogers the first pass. Back set. Jones sends it out of bounds. The point goes to NC State.
And Coach Erger is going to trust her team to try to work through it. I thought there might have been a timeout here. NC State closing the gap within 3 late in set 2.
A 3-0 scoring run for the Wolfpack now. Carlson up for Rogers. It's long. Point NC State. They've got it within 2. And now comes the timeout. Out of the timeout. Finds Livings. Carlson up for Rogers. Vondren from the backside has it. Overpass. NC State must get it over. Villar does. Carlson kept it nearby, but it's blocked at the net. NC State with their 5th consecutive point.
A scrambling save in the backcourt from Clara Vondren just to keep it alive. This time the block in position. Frankham drops her right arm to seal off the angle swing.
Carlson back to Rogers. Vondren again. Keeps it alive. Bryant swings it long, and SMU ends the run. 5 consecutive points for NC State. Prior to that, 1 notched by SMU, and now it's 22-20, but a challenge.
State picking up as much momentum as they can. We'll see if this break pauses the serve of Cropper.
Schilling ahead for Rogers, who tosses it over and caught NC State off guard.
That's a great look by Rogers, and Rogers has a cannon, so everybody on the defensive side of the ball standing back. She pulls up for the roll shot into the center of the court.
SMU retakes the lead after a brief tie. Villar to the outside. Bryant forces it, and it's tied again.
Great pass from Vondren to the in-system ball. Send that one out to a quick stroke from Bryant. Oh, Bryant having a fantastic senior day. 7.
A little bit of a scramble for SMU. They get it over with Livings. Here's Bryant again. Livings a look for SMU, blasts it through.
Courtney Bryant are much harder to defend just because she puts a little bit more pop on them.
SMU begins at the service line. A little out of system for NC State. Rogers knocked back, will get a second go at it and gets the first point of set number 3 for SMU.
Most young players would maybe stand back and just go with a push or try to reset that point. Rogers, though, recognizes high hands is there, aggressively goes for the point.
Vondren overpasses, Rogers just hammers it down.
And Villar really tried her very best to get to the ball before that ball got to the plane, but as soon as it did, that was big trouble for NC State.
Vondren the first. Villar out. Dorsey has it sent right back. Here's Vondren. Schilling saves it but clears the net. Second look. Bryant from the back row.
Good save by Schilling just to keep the rally alive, but NC State picking up where they left off in set number 2, coming aggressively with the offense. And again, you can find Bryant front row or back row. She is available to take that big swing.
Carlson sets it for Rogers, and the block successful. And the serve into the net, that gives it back to SMU. Another service error, the 6th of the match for NC State.
Onyanwu now to the front row for 3 rotations with Schilling on serve. That key block from Onyanwu will be a problem for NC State.
Bryant tried to tap it over. Dorsey able to squeeze it in under the block.
Dorsey saw time in set number 1. I haven't seen her a ton since, but there she is returning to the court here in set 3. There you see her tooling off of Rogers on the line.
Second kill for Samaya Dorsey. And it's sent back by NC State. The call is out of bounds. They initially thought maybe they kept it in.
Oh, I love this next look where we can see that rejection. Oh, just fractionally out. Everybody on the NC State bench kind of willing that ball to be in. It wasn't enough to keep it on the floor.
Vondren has to go down and get it for the first touch. Now Carlson out. Rogers. Wow, that happened quickly.
That's a combination play. Onyanwu goes up in the air. That holds the block of Franklin. That means that Rogers gets to take a free play.
Villar for Dorsey. Carson for Jones. SMU just comes at you from so many directions.
And we've seen the D-ball from Jones a couple of times in set number 1. There a big swing, well located from Carlson.
NC State keeps it alive. Carlson for Rogers, SMU's points.
And there's that same combination. This time Anyanwu decoys with the 31. And there's Rogers again. And with that block held from Frankham, you can see Frankham nowhere to be found. Great effort by Anyanwu to hold the block.
2 points ago, by the way, Malaya Jones has now tied the single season kills record for SMU. Laura out for Bryant, sent it long, and the Mustangs get the point. And Bryant, I think here, claiming that maybe there was a touch, so I think there will be a challenge as a result. That is the case.
I thought I saw a deflection off of the block of it.
Prior to the service, Alyssa Forelli checks in for Villar as the setter for NC State. Forelli, quite the effort to keep it in bounds. And then setting Bryant. SMU scrambling, 2 players on the floor. Carlson dumps it over.
Carlson had to send it over. There were 2 contacts in the backcourt on the dig. So all Carlson could do was go over with it. We get a look at that lengthy replay. There it is. There's the 2 contacts out of the backcourt, Jones and Anyanwu. So Carlson had to go over. A good play by her.
Bryant deflected on the swing. Carlson now back to Anyanwu, and SMU scores.
Get the slide from Anyanwu. We have not seen the slide from SMU from most of the game, but instead there she sets up behind the setter, so clearly that's where she was going. Effective finish by Anyanwu.
Back set Forelli. Livings rejected. Point Wolfpack.
Frankham again getting in on the block, her 3rd block of the ball game. They're sealing things off. Interesting choice. We'd seen the line shot from Livings most of the ball game there to go away from the lengthy middle block of NC State. There she tries the middle and is denied by Frankham.
First serve for Mia Silva. Livings, and it was knocked out of bounds, but a touch just at the last moment there, it seems, for SMU.
And we're checking to see if there would be a possible challenge. Coach Erger first checking to see how many challenges she has available, then to question whether or not she's going to challenge. She says, nope, let's play on.
Overpass. Carlson goes up and wins it for SMU.
Oh, missed opportunity for Forelli. Carlson entirely on the left side of the net. Normally she would play on the right, but she came over to get that block. She pushes last. That means the ball is going to end up on the NC State side.
Ring with a hard swing and creates some issue for SMU on the receive there.
Good look here at the in-system ball sent out by Forelli that pushed to Ring. Ring does the rest.
Jones rolls it over. Nice change of pace, and SMU goes up 5.
And Jones now the leading kill getter in a season for SMU with her 10th kill, overcoming Katie Higgerty. Wow, congratulations to Malaya Jones. Now the single season record holder in kills for both Colorado State and SMU.
It's been a remarkable lone season as an SMU Mustang, but it's not done yet. SMU somehow gets it over. Dorsey airs it out, and SMU with the point.
The advantage was all on the NC State side there. SMU with a sigh of relief on the attack error from Dorsey.
Oh, a quick set, and the Wolfpack gets it back.
Good quick from Lily Cropper. Hadn't seen the middle quick in a while, so she has to take the angle approach to come at her setter, Villar, banging away, getting the ball down.
Back set from Carlson. Jones has it knocked away. Last touch to Wolfpack. Point Mustangs. So now Schilling serving for SMU on Yanwu, Rogers, and Jones up front. On Yanwu, sends it back to NC State's side, and that gets it for SMU. SMU program history, Malaya Jones with 462 kills this season. The transfer from Colorado State making a huge impact in her lone year with the Mustangs.
Love her work as an opposite, playing over on the right side and being such a dynamic attacker. Just gives SMU so many options. They can go to the left, can spread the block, and go back to the right. Malaya Jones has been exceptional, no less exceptional today. We talked about 11 kills and 11 digs, but she's hitting 588 for an efficiency on the day. So she is just as clean as can be. She's done it out of the back row as well as the front row on the attack.
That's her 6th double-double of the season. NC State with the first point out of the break. And Jones stopped at the net. Talia Frankham got up there and hung up there.
Good close by Frankham, but that one stopped by Bryant dropping in when she saw that Frankham was going to be just a fraction late.
Another service error for NC State.
Lily Cropper trying to rekindle that big 5-point service run in set number 2 that propelled them from down 19-12 eventually to get that 25-23 set 2 win.
Villar from a deep squatted position with the set. Now Rogers a look. Unable to get it across. So NC State on the block there, staying in there in this third set. You said it. It was a 13-4 run ultimately that got them set number 2. Back sets for Frankham. Daniels tried her best to keep it in play, but SMU gets the point.
Solo block from Rogers. Rogers was out on an island for this stop, so she drops her hands in to ensure that the block on Frankham goes into the center of the court. Great stop on the solo block from Rogers.
Service into the net.
Alyssa Forelli setting for NC State on the front row to provide a longer block against the SMU attack.
Courtney Bryant with the service. Here's Livings. Maciejewicz digs it up for NC State. Rebecca Ring just too long, and SMU gets the point.
Ring going for the shaped shot into the deep court. That ball had enough arc to get over the block, but then the question, was there enough snap to drop into the court? Unfortunately, that ball just wide.
Onyanwu off. Silva back on to serve. Pirelli out for Ring. And NC State makes it a 5-point set.
Ring has been hot in spurts. There for her 8th kill of the ball game. As you can see, she's been working the tool throughout the ball game today against that strong block.
Awkward first pass. Carlson does get a set up for Jones. Another try at it. Livings and a block for the Wolfpack.
That set was just a little bit tight, and then into the teeth of a perfectly positioned, the senior Lily Cropper getting the stop.
Tough serve from Maciejewicz, and another tough defense effort by NC State. The block, they get the point, and it forces an SMU timeout.
Couple of blocks in a row. Lily Cropper in on the first one. This time Pirelli getting her hands on it with help from Cropper. That's going to prompt the timeout from SMU.
It's a 3-point run for NC State. So this one was 18-12. NC State trying to send their seniors out with a bang. Maciejewicz again on the service coming out of the timeout. Carlson cleanly up for Jones, dug up by Maciejewicz. Pirelli sets Bryant, and it's in at the corner.
That point-blank save from Maciejewicz to keep the ball alive, allowed for transition. Of course, against the big swing of Jones. How about the counter out of the backcourt from court chop Courtney Bryant?
4 consecutive points for the Wolfpack. Carlson up, back row swing. Jones has it tipped as it was out. Point SMU.
Now 3 attackers for SMU in the front row, and of course that means 3 rotations in the front for Malaya Jones. NC State has to terminate early in these rallies if they wish to continue the comeback.
Avery Carlson on the service. Daniels has to go down for the first touch. Big swing from Ring. Dug up by Schilling. There's Daniels again to dig it up, and NC State, the second effort, not quite enough.
Good choice here to go with the tip. Charging in is Daniels. She does get it up, but then some doubt as to who is to come next. Eventually that ball goes to the floor. So challenge as to whether or not there was a net touch during.
And a service error, a frustrating one, as you see the expression from Villar in the aftermath.
She was targeting Livings. That ball was coming in low and flat, but unfortunately did not clear. So now Casey Batenhorst will try to put pressure on the NC State service reception.
Well contested third set. And NC State wisely, just in the nick of time, allows it to go out. They'll get service back, and they're back within 2.
Oh my goodness, that almost went so bad for Rebecca Ring. It looked like she was going to put a play on it. She just narrowly missed the served ball out. That would have been an easy ace for Batenhorst.
Clara Vondren now on serve. Carlson pulls it back in for SMU. NC State with control, tipped at the net and out. Wolfpack gets the point.
High hands from Courtney Bryant. Looking very good there as you see the outlet from Maciejewicz. Bryant knows what to do there. Bang it off the hands out of the range of the defense.
Clean look. Carlson gives for Jones, who taps it over. Really well timed against the NC State block to get it for SMU back up 2.
A valiant effort from Maciejewicz, but she was just too far out of range to get the touch on.
Villar back out for Bryant, and NC State pulls it back within 1. Back and forth we go.
Gonna look at that swing. Great swing from Bryant, getting the tool off of Jones. Now 3 rotations with the big blocker in Frankham in the front row for NC State.
Lily Cropper too strong on her first effort on the serve. And Malaya Jones puts it into the net. Point Wolfpack back within 1, and service will go to NC State.
Big spot for NC State here. Forelli in the front row to set for NC State. So only 2 attackers. That means Courtney Bryant is going to see the lion's share of swings here in this rotation.
Sydney Daniels an ace, and NC State is tied in at 22.
In both sets 2 and 3, SMU looking good midway through, but NC State has had the push late.
Here's Carlson, back row. Jones has it sent right back. Daniels keeps it alive to the outside. Bryant, Schilling dug up for SMU. NC State scraps and has the lead.
Forelli with a great eye on it. She recognized the coverage from SMU was shallow. So what did Forelli do? She goes with the push over the shoulder with her left hand into the left back to take the first lead of this set.
Forelli just swiping it to the back corner. And after all that action, all that youth that's going to stick around and be crucial pieces of this team.
Yes, they graduate 3 key players in Cropper, Bryant, and Daniels at the service line. But as you point out, good freshman crew for this squad this year for the Pack.
SMU trying to fight back, and it is an in-system formulaic look from Carlson to Jones.
The D-ball comes out again, and I love the explosive approach. I pointed that out earlier on, and actually in the open. She is so explosive to the approach, it makes it even more difficult to make a dig or a block against that kind of swing.
Jones hitting at a 500 rate. Daniels digs it up all the way across the net. Bryant keeps it in.
That set from Forelli. She had to go from side to side and muscle it out to make a hittable ball for Bryant. Now set point and a chance to go up 2-1 against the number 8 team in the country.
Carlson out, and it's tapped over. So SMU ties it at 24.
Good answer on the tip from SMU. So bonus volleyball here in set 2.
Mia Silva the serve. SMU trying to keep it alive. They somehow get it over, basically from the bleachers. Carlson out. Livings can't point it. Now Vondren, it's out, and NC State gets the advantage.
A missed call by the officiating crew. That ball went around the antenna illegally, but NC State kept their composure. Eventually, the big swing from Bryant. Oh, pardon me, from Vondren out there on the left side.
Maciejewicz with the service on another set point for NC State. Out of bounds.
And you have to serve aggressively if you're going to thwart the SMU offense. I don't mind a few of these misses. They've been aggressive, but now we tie it up by 25.
Forelli out for Vondren. Now Livings touched at the net. Maciejewicz dug it up. Vondren, and the point for NC State.
Another set point for NC State. Now the serve of Alyssa Forelli. Jordan Smith in the front row will block for NC State.
Rogers first touch. Carlson back for Jones. Roll shot stuffed. Now Livings knocked away and out of bounds though. SMU ties it at 26.
The entire fan base of NC State waiting for that ball to land in, but that ball well out of bounds. So tie it up again. A back and forth affair here in set 3.
An incredible third set. Nearing a conclusion, we think anyway. Livings puts it into the net, and NC State again has the advantage.
Foot foul was not called against SMU. A very strange no call a couple of times in a row by the line judge on this side. So instead, set point again for NC State.
Clara Vondren on service. She's had a couple of key moments attacking for NC State in this set. Dig by Forelli clears the net. Jones points it for SMU to tie it back up.
You got to go to Jones in those crunch times. So 2 sets in a row to Jones. Forelli dug the first one, but the second one finds the floor.
Bryant gets it back, and a block for the Mustangs. Now they lead by 1. NC State calls a timeout.
That block well positioned. There's Anyanwu pressing hard to ensure that that ball goes.
Set point for SMU for the first time in this third set. Jordan Schilling to serve. Up for Bryant. And it drops. 28 all.
A fortunate ricochet. That ball was blocked by SMU, but it went up and down. Anyanwu didn't know where it was. It's the hardest ball to find after a block is when it goes off up and straight over the blocker. There it bounces on Yanwu's head.
Off the video board and a missed touch for SMU. NC State takes the lead. Set point Wolfpack, and the serve goes out of bounds.
I think that's pure adrenaline that sent that ball over along with it. Cropper had that big service run in set 2, but there that ball going just a little long.
So here we go, tied again, 29 apiece. Vondren's first pass, middle shot. A bit of a change of pace. The Wolfpack goes to Talia Frankham.
With that block spread out, that means a solo attempt from Anyanwu. She couldn't get her hands on it. Good swing by Frankham.
Jones from the backside. NC State blocked at the net. Anyanwu with a true chance at it. Vondran gets it over. Carlson, Jones, and SMU gets it.
Oh, what a scrappy save on the NC State side. But just so strong from Malaya Jones, overwhelming Maciejewicz.
Top spin for Rogers. That was a free ball for SMU and a block for NC State.
Avery Carlson was turned around, so she was facing the right side. Everybody in the building knew where that set was going. Courtney Bryant and Frankham clamped down.
Now Courtney Bryant with the serve. Carlson looking for Livings. Almost an overpass. Net touch. Point rewarded to NC State. Therefore, they get the set. Fourth set. Here we come. Eliza Villar begins service for NC State. Villar sets up Cropper. Now tries Jordan Smith on the outside. SMU regains it and gets the points. So we saw a similarly interesting first point in that last set, Paul, where neither team could really get a handle on it.
Yeah, both defenses have had moments here where they have been so exceptionally scrappy. You have not been able to get balls past the defense. It's been the block, though, that has been so important, particularly for NC State with the advantage on the block, 10 blocks to SMU's only 2.
Just the third kill there for middle Lily Cropper. Maciejewicz digs it up. The effort from Malaya Jones. Bryant points it for the Wolfpack.
Courtney Bryant just continues to sizzle. 17 kills, hitting at a 375 clip. They're getting it off of Anyanwu.
Livings the first touch. And a block for NC State. They have seen a lot of success at the net defensively.
Freshman Jordan Smith stepping in, getting key moments in the third set, and now they're closing down on the block there in the fourth stanza.
Carlson taps it straight up, and Jones with a kill that she made look easy. That now ties Jones with NC State's Courtney Bryant for a match-high 17 kills. Bryant sends it out of bounds, and SMU has the point.
Missed opportunity for Bryant there. She had the wide open spaces in the deep court, but couldn't quite get it down.
Cropper couldn't get it over. NC State blocks it. Smith, Cropper, and Bryant were all three there in the middle.
Like the decision here, you can see they are in a bunch position, camping out to ensure that they could get that stop. 6 arms up on the block and the stop.
Jones unable to get it over.
NC State has really adjusted to put a block against the D-ball. I really like this adjustment for NC State. They're ensuring that there's at least a double block against Malaya Jones.
Out for Rogers. Villar goes down and gets it for the Wolfpack. Smith sent it right back on Yanwu did. Another one blocked at the net.
Bit of a missed opportunity there, but with Lily Cropper in the backcourt on serve, maybe not the most attuned defender. Here the coverage, some doubt as to who would play it. Ball falls innocently to the floor.
Villar back for Jordan Smith.
Wonderful line stroke for Jordan Smith with that block clamped into the inside just a fraction. That's a long way to go if you're Livings. Livings could not get out to get
Wolfpack with the advantage up 2-1 in set number 4. They've had the advantage on the block. The defense at the net has been exceptional for them.
Oh, it truly has been. And I think it's gotten better over time. Set number 1, I think they were still adjusting to the big, fast movement of Malaya Jones, but now they're starting to get a read on all of the attackers, at least putting a double block on the attack most of the time against SMU.
Frankham with a clean look, sliding to the outside, and NC State up 4 now. So SMU with some problems on the serve receive from Sydney Daniels on that last point. Smoked, and SMU gets it back. 18th kill for Malaya Jones.
And again, just coming in on the perfect bick out of the back row. Of course, that's Malaya Jones, and you mentioned it, 18 kills, but she's hitting at a 441 efficiency. Gosh, that is just through the roof.
Wise to let it go out of bounds, and a smile from Sydney Daniels as she realizes it was the right decision.
Yeah, a big chuckle from her. She took a flail at it, much like in set number 2, she watched the ball go just wide of her. So a good no touch by Daniels.
Carlson to the middle, and Jones with a roar. Another kill, now 19 for the day.
A good swing there, and a switch on the offensive side of the ball. Madison Shear seeing action as an outside hitter for SMU now in set number 4. Shear, with a successful career at Auburn, found her way to SMU for graduate school. She's going to step in here, and she is a quality attacker as well as on a service reception.
First rotation, as you mentioned, for Shear, number 15 in white. Carlson with the back set for Jones. Mustangs are going to keep this tight.
Interesting spot. Shear will step back to serve. She hasn't seen action since warm-ups. That's an hour and a half ago, nearly 2 hours ago, gets her serve on.
Farrelly sets, and Ring puts it off the antenna. So SMU with the point. Now Shear has not been used that much all season long in service. Daniels digs, Farrelly up for Ring. Schilling sets Jones. Ring swipes it across, and it's out.
And Alyssa Farrelly nearly came up on the ball and touched it, and then realized she was standing out of bounds. She backs off and allows that ball to go out. keep the point on the NC State side.
Rogers clears it for SMU.
Good choice by Rogers to go high, hard off the hands of Jordan Smith. Smith was in position, and when Rogers recognizes that, her best place to go is high off the hands to rebound out of the defensive range of NC State.
Blocked, but it got tucked over the net. I thought initially it was rejected by SMU. That's a great job by Rebecca Ring in a spot where NC State's not had a ton of success with that front line.
And that ball just sneaking in front of the block. Unfortunate spot for SMU there.
Rogers a mishit. She gets it back. Dug up by a couple of NC State players. And it goes out of bounds, but a touch by SMU. So Bryant motioning toward the official, knew it the whole time.
In the huddle of SMU, they did not break out to say no touch. So clearly they did not want the challenge used. Getting the fingertips was Bryant.
Out for Jones. Knocked into the air. Wolfpack regathers. Bryant got it! How about this effort? The Wolfpack leading by 5 in this set.
They just continue to scramble, and when SMU gets a big swing, they don't worry about it. They shake it off, and then they get an answer of their own. Courtney Bryant having a big day.
19 kills for Bryant now. The tap over. Smith rejected, but it's out of bounds. Point Wolfpack.
Great decision making by Vondran to step in and make the set. Some doubt as to whether she or Maciejewicz should put the play on. So instead, Vondran steps in, gets a quality set. We get a good look at the tool from Smith.
NC State in control.
Side of the ball, but she just continues to find ways to score. That's what an outside hitter is expected to do, in system and out of system. This set of replays really shows it. You see a variety of the toolbox, everything from tips to swings off of fingertips. A great day by Bryant.
Big quick set for Onyanwu for SMU coming out of the timeout. Villar scrambles for it. All things considered, a good swing by Bryant. Now back to the Wolfpack. Out for Smith. Stuffed at the net. Rogers and Onyanwu combined forces.
Smith tried for the point that prompted the timeout 2 points ago. This time when she opened up the shoulders, unfortunately the block was much better positioned to get the stop.
Malaya Jones ekes it over top of the net. NC State wasn't in correct position. It'll be Jones serving. Maciejewicz with the first pass. Bryant out of bounds. Point Wolfpack.
That one blocked it just out of bounds. Good positioning on the block. Get a good look at that one and the big swing of Courtney Bryant.
That matches Malaya Jones's 20 kills, and it snaps a 3-0 scoring run for SMU. Jones from the back row. Cropper digs it up. Bryant right at the net. Wolfpack stays poised. And the point SMU because it was off of an NC State player.
Darren, you used a word early on in set number 1. I'm going to repeat it on that one. Chaos.
Yeah.
Chaos and creativity. How about SMU coming up with a way to get that point?
Sharp serve, handled well. Bryant rolls it over. And that one goes to the Mustangs.
And the chicken wing from Anyanwu just to make the save. And when that ball went off of the tape, she does get it up. Eventually, a big swing by Shearer over on the left.
First kill, first swing for Madison Shear as the service error is out of bounds. NC State hanging on to the set lead here in set number 4.
Front row set is Franklin along with Bryant, and Alyssa Forelli will direct the offense for NC State.
Sydney Daniels back in for service. Carlson, Jones from way back.
And that explosive back row attack, this time on the Bick. And you see she broad jumps toward the net. She nearly lands at the net. That is a big approach from Malaya Jones.
Couple of two strong passes from that backside. NC State narrowly escaped the initial one, but can't do so there.
Missed opportunity from Sydney Daniels. That pass could have been further off the net, but she got a little bit jumpy on that one.
Forelli, Vondren, the long strike, and it's in.
Vondren has come up with back row attacks throughout the season for NC State, so this is not a major surprise that she could take a smartly placed ball. The block was not in position. Croft did not expect that ball to come from the backcourt.
Just the 4th kill for Vondren, but they've been timed really well. Out of bounds, NC State now 19-16.
So it'll be a challenge on the blocked touch. So as it stands, the ball hit out of bounds, no touch. But the challenge is whether or not there is a net touch against the block.
Original call was no touch. SMU is challenging a touch at the net.
So we'll have a look here. Perhaps grazing Forelli's fingertip.
Yep, and the question is whether or not it is conclusive evidence to overturn. Now, sometimes the players know better than the video camera because the players will hear whether or not there was a kind of a fractional touch.
Frankham up there too for whatever it's worth, as we have an indication.
The call will be reversed. There's a touch on number 5. They will retain their challenge.
All right, so it was off of Forelli's finger. And the call is reversed. That's a pretty big swing there, Paul. Making it 18-17 NC State.
It really is, and now 3 attackers in the front row for SMU with Avery Carlson on serve.
Forelli with a clean system set. Shear taps it over for SMU. Forelli, back row. Bryant got it for the Wolfpack.
A great scrambling save from Rebecca Ring to keep it going, but that meant Ring was out of the play. So there, against the triple block, Bryant goes up and over, gets the fingertips.
Carlson back set. Jones. Nice dig. Daniels. Now Ring's turn. Blocked at the net.
Great save from Sydney Daniels to keep that ball alive. It wasn't just up, it was up and playable. But when that set was just maybe a tad tight, Ring had nowhere to go against the strong block of Malaya Jones with Croft.
Point Wolfpack. And now it's getting a little real. 5 points away from what would be a massive victory.
Jaden Living's back in the service reception pattern. I think Villar will target her for certain.
Eliza Villar goes to Livings on the back row. Free ball. Ring. NC State gets the point.
Villar got what she wanted. She targeted the passer in Livings. Livings with the overpass. Ring does the rest.
Livings can't handle it. It's a service ace. 2 straight for NC State. And they're 3 points away.
Sarah Frazee is going to come in as a defensive specialist here, ice cold, taking the place of Livings.
Frazee, the freshman from Gulf Breeze, Florida, seeing her first minutes of the match. Service error. It's SMU's point and SMU serve.
Well, sure enough, Ring is going to see this serve off of the serve of SMU.
Villar to the outside. Smith rejected. NC State can't corral it, and SMU pulls back within 2.
I like this timeout from Coach MWK. Service reception pattern for NC State has Jordan Smith, the right side hitter, stuck on the left. So they're going to have to come up with a set play that makes sense to generate some offense. They have to trust that the pass will be there. Pass has been reasonably good. Sets 3 and now into set 4, but they're going to have to do it on service reception. Again, so important for NC State to terminate short rallies. The longer the rallies go, I still give the edge to SMU on the offense job on the block, but also for Forelli. Forelli coming in and setting and blocking in the front row for NC State.
Schilling serves for SMU. This is their best formation. And it gets them a block at the net with Rogers and Anyanwu.
And that back set, maybe just a tad tight, but the block in position, nowhere a Ring could go with it.
Villar up for Smith, who tosses it over. SMU keeps it alive. Now a clean set. Here's Jones. Tapped over. Maciejewicz comes flying in for the save, and NC State does not quite have the point yet. Great job by SMU, and Smith sends it flying out of bounds.
Oh, what a great save by SMU. That set to Smith sailed just a little bit from Villar. Smith expecting the ball with a little bit more pace.
22 all in set number 4. Cropper, the touch over. Villar Cropper again with more ferocity, and it gets it for the Wolfpack.
What a gutsy set from Villar. They've been going to the pins most of the clutch points, so only a solo block against Cropper, and Cropper does the rest.
quick set up for Onyanwu.
Oh, love this ball. Perfectly passed by Frazee. Onyanwu on the tempo 31 ball bounces it.
Ties it back up at 23. Maciejewicz keeps it in play. Here's Bryant. Stopped at the net. Maciejewicz to Bryant again, and she waves it out of bounds. SMU takes the lead.
Bryant looking for just a fraction of a touch on the block, but she went just a little bit wide. Set point now for SMU to extend it.
To send it to a fifth set, Malaya Jones on the serve. Aces it. It'll be Avery Carlson to serve. Eliza Villar finds Clara Vondren, who will get a second opportunity and tucks it in the corner.
Good swing from Clara Vondren. They were on service reception, so that's a strategic start to have Vondren over on the right side. A very consistent swing by her to get the first point.
Fifth kill for Vondren. It feels, Paul, like every single one of them has come in such a crucial moment. Carlson, a clean look on the set to Malaya Jones, and SMU ties it at 1.
And by my estimation, it's going to be the Malaya Jones show in set number 5. There's no reason to go away from her. Offensively, she has really put NC State on their heels.
Villar keeps it near. Cropper tapped over. SMU with a chance. First chance at a real swing. Bryant gets it over. SMU saves it across. Bryant again for the Wolfpack. Dug up in the back. And the point goes to the Mustangs.
A net touch on Jordan Smith. She's trying to get aggressive on the block. She did get the touch, but did catch just a fraction of tape. Give that advantage to SMU.
Villar across. Schilling, Jones. Point SMU.
Jones on a hard cut. She's able to split. And actually, she goes around Cropper. Well, she's got that elevation and that explosive approach to prompt that kill.
Casey Batenhorst again on the serve. Bryant has to touch it over. Jones the hammer. And the Mustangs with a commanding start to this fifth set.
Transition from Jones. She is available. And again, without the block available on her, the result, Jones bank kills on 21 attempts early on without an error. Since then, Rogers has picked it up since.
Villar to the outside. Bryant dug up by Schilling of SMU. Mustangs get it across. Villar clean set. Bryant gets it for the Wolfpack.
Good answer out of the break. Who do you go to? You got to go to Courtney Bryant. Fantastic swing by her. This time she gets the tool to go.
22 kills for Courtney Bryant. Wolfpack pulls within 2 in this decisive fifth set. Well, mishandle on the serve. Free ball. Smith taps it down.
Haven't seen a lot of unforced errors on the SMU side, but they're a key one. So 2 points out of the timeout. NC State closing the gap early in set 5.
Carlson off of the net with the set, and it works out for SMU.
So answering back will be NC State. They have to do it against the serve of Jordan Schilling. Schilling has been solid at the service line. It also means 3 rotations for Anyanwu in the middle for SMU.
Overpass. Up for Jones. Nice job by NC State. The poise to get that back over. Jones another try, and SMU gets it.
And Jones just continues to bang away. There, the give and go. Pass, set, and hit, just like you chalk it up in practice.
Smith, stuffed. Another try for NC State. Bryant clears it and gets the kill. 23 of them. It is a career high.
What a big spot here. And in this set, she's been going into the block rather than working around it, trying to keep NC State close.
A momentum stopper with another service error. That is 15 on the day for NC State.
Malaya Jones had the deal sealer in stanza number 4 with the service ace to take us to set 5. Now she's on the service line again.
Good swing by Bryant, but it's dug up. Frankham a try, bounced off of the tape. Rogers rejected. SMU's going to go to her again. Bryant and then Daniels to keep it alive for the Wolfpack. Rogers rejected. Out of bounds, though. Point SMU.
Anyanwu with the back set to get the hittable ball for Kennedy Rogers. Rogers takes the monster swing. She has to step in and adjust, get that ball off of the block of Frankham for the 8th point.
Forelli across for Bryant. It's out. NC State's point.
SMU just wanted that block to be down, but just fractionally out. You can see them camping out. And Anyanwu knows it was close. She looks over to her coaching staff to say, hey, should this one be challenged? And the answer is no, so keep that ball on the side of NC State.
Service goes out of bounds, so SMU with the point.
Avery Carlson has tied a career high in assists. She's got 60 in this one. She beat SMU while she was playing for Baylor in that particular match.
It's a season high as a member of the Mustangs. And the point goes to SMU there. Antenna got rattled. And a timeout called by NC State. That's be a fine way to finish a career.
Oh, most certainly would.
Service goes out, coming out of the timeout. Point NC State, they're within 4.
NC State will look for offense from Courtney Bryant in the backcourt here with the rotation. Only 2 attackers in the front row right now for NC State.
Carlson to the back row. Jones, it's dug up. Maciejewicz. And a block on Anyanwu. All over it.
Good save by Maciejewicz just to keep the rally alive, but just too much block. Anyanwu in perfect position.
The serve from Mia Silva finds Sydney Daniels. Forelli up for ring. One touch, it's already back over, and with the Wolfpack, Cropper tops it over, and NC State gets the point.
Nifty play by Cropper. The rhythm just a little bit off, so all she could do was tip. She smartly goes up and over. That touch by Shear is what negated the possible dig from the other players.
Push set, Shear clears it, and it was off fingertips. So Madison Shear gets the kill, her third.
And the switch to go to Shear is to keep, to save Livings from the service reception pattern, but Shear now getting into rhythm here in set 5.
Villar gets it off of the net. Jones wipes it across the face of the floor, and it was deemed to be touched by an NC State player. So SMU gets it. And I believe that's going to be challenged.
The challenge is whether or not the ball was in or out on the cut from Malaya Jones.
The original call was in. NC State is challenging that the ball was out.
Okay, so the call initially was that it was in, not that an NC State player touched it. And that looks like a pretty clear indication that that's within the bounds of play.
Great command from Malaya Jones on the offensive side of the ball. She has been able to attack that cut throughout this ball game, and that's just what makes her so difficult, is that she has great range on all of her swings.
The original call is confirmed. The ball is in. NC State will lose a challenge.
So the call stands, is confirmed even with that extra look at it. Wolfpack out of challenges. An ace for SMU. And now it's match point. A lucky bounce off the tape, and consecutive aces secure it for the Mustangs. They stave off an upset effort on senior day by a very game Wolfpack crew.
What a